This is going to be kind of a junk video. I guess that's a new category I'll create. Yeah, I don't really have an agenda. It's just kind of a compulsion to fulfill my video making obligation, and you know, that's about all there is. Yeah, I'm just kind of depressed, thinking things over, just reflecting on the whole YouTube thing. You know, I've made a lot of videos, and yeah, you wonder how much is it getting you anywhere? Is there any real point? Because you see the difference in what people think, you know, and how they think, and it's hard to imagine how you get past that. I mean, it's just such a gulf of you know, dissimilar understanding, or, you know, interpretation. I mean, maybe it's just all based on just one key perception, and if you can change that one perception, you know, the person gets it, and they're, you know, oh, I get it. And what got me thinking about this, so I watched the Soup X video. I think I'll post this as a reply to his video. You know, he really, you know, I don't think he took apart the guy he was taking apart very well. The guy's screen name was something like OMG the Pest. And you know, you watch his video and it's just such crap. And then I made the mistake of watching a couple of his other videos, and he's just so full of shit. And then he makes no argument. I mean, his argument is just this you know, it's just so empty. And then in the one video, I mean, his argument basically is that, you know, anybody gives a shit about anything and tries to do anything is just full of shit. You know, they're just wasting your time. And really, if you're really enlightened, or you're psychologically ahead of everybody else, you'll figure it out that all that matters is you being happy. You know, that's the game. And yeah, I mean, I just fall so short for me, because if that's, you know, I mean, it's nice, that's almost a nice fairy tale to believe that. I wish it was that simple, you know, have a good time and get the fuck out. But yeah, I think life's a lot more complicated than that. We just can't walk away because we're still in the game, in a sense. You know, I've made this point before, but I mean, as long as humans are in the game, you're in the game. I mean, one way or another. The consciousness doesn't have to be yours to be a consciousness. I mean, it's real. It's a feeling, thinking being, and you know, it's going to have the same internal dynamic, the same internal reality. And if you don't care about that person, you're just not caring about yourself, in a sense. You're just throwing yourself in the garbage. So you got to care. You got to give a damn about how the world is constructed, because all these individuals, all these feeling, unique little individuals, have to live in this world created by these people who are pulling the strings. And theoretically, we should be pulling the strings. I mean, we have the democracy, we have the mechanisms in place, and somehow we just can't put it together. And that's sort of what I've been reflecting on, is just the, you know, the futility of change. I mean, trying to get there. You know, as I was thinking about the 60s today, and I'm thinking just how close we were to getting somewhere, how close we were to having people that, I mean, even TV commercials could make you cry. I mean, people just seem to be getting so sincere and so real. And, you know, and we're just so far from there now. And it's everything is such theatrics and such bullshit. I mean, extreme bullshit. And we have these things called reality shows that are completely unreal. I mean, it's all this pretense and play acting, and even human beings have just become so, you know, there's no depth to them anymore. They're just getting so thin. You know, it's well, I mean, maybe some of that's just being generation gap, so I won't even go there. But anyway, so what's my point? Like I said, I really don't have a point because I really don't have an agenda for this video. I'm just kind of feeling the futility. I'm just kind of feeling powerless, and it's irritating. I've had this before. It's not like this is something new, and like I probably shouldn't have made a video. Because tomorrow will be another day, and I'll say, okay, well, back to the war. But it's just these little things. I mean, you think about instant runoff voting, and you think in the context of our election, you say, well, why hasn't this gotten done? I mean, how could it be? What's the obstacle? I mean, how can something just sit there? A perfectly good idea. I mean, I haven't heard one rational objection to the concept of being able to vote third party without throwing your vote away. I mean, it seems brilliant. Seems an obvious enhancement to the election process. I mean, it doesn't go near as far as I'd like to go, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just lies there, just like a piece of shit. Just sits there. Nothing happens. It's just all the rest. Look, I won't go through my whole list of agenda items for change, but I mean, that's the most obvious one. That's not even my idea. And it just sits there, and you're just like, how could this not get done? I mean, what's stopping it from happening? And you say, well, I guess it's just not enough people fighting for it. Not enough people giving a damn. And there's an awful lot of people who just have, apparently they just given up on the idea of democracy, and they've deluded themselves into thinking we move to some sort of less regulated world, that everything's going to be fine. That somehow human beings will all be nice human beings and they'll all get along and there won't be any problems. And they're just, it's so silly to me. I don't even know how you logically it's sillier than religion, and that's what's really scary, is that it's even a sillier fairy tale than God. And then even the God thing, you listen to these people, I mean, they just keep trying to find excuses. I mean, especially the agnostics and the whatever, I don't believe in any one religion, but I believe in God crap. I mean, what is God without religion? I mean, how do you make up the story if you've disqualified the story that invented him in the first place? I mean, God isn't the construction of an intelligence. An intelligent mind doesn't sit there and say, ah, yes, this is brilliant. God must have invented this. I mean, if you look at the real world, and you look at nature, and you look at this construction, you can't sit there and tell me it's fucking intelligent. Parasites and animals eating each other, and horrible death, and suffering, and all this shit. How can you construct a rational scenario that says, yes, an intelligence invented this? I mean, it's just so preposterous. It's so silly. I mean, and then you're sitting there saying, I don't, like I'm saying, how do you even? I mean, how do you even have a conversation or an argument about something when somebody is premised in something that is so vacant of anything I can understand? I mean, I don't understand why you would even want to go there. Why you would think, because you really have to find an excuse to believe that. You really have to bend everything logically in your head to contrive a reason to say, yes, there must be a God, or find an excuse for one. And to do it on top of when you've already found the original inventor corrupt, and you're still trying to reinvent his broken invention, and you say, well, what are you doing? I mean, I don't know, it's like having a perpetual motion machine, and the guy tries to invent it, and we all prove that the guy was an idiot and a moron, and then you try to resurrect the concept and say, oh, well, it's still a good concept, and we just need to put ducks in the loop and, tie some string and a little bit of thread, and, we can make the old perpetual motion machine work. I mean, God just doesn't work. It doesn't work as a logical construction. There's nothing intelligent about any of this shit. I mean, it's preposterously unintelligent. It is so foolish on its face, and just even the fact that you would have this thing called intelligence, and we wouldn't even be able to properly program the fucking software. So we've got people running around with a brain that's just, it's useless. It's pointless to have intelligence because they got it so fucked up that they can't do anything constructive with that intelligence, because the intelligence is thinking that you got to kill the infidel, or you got to do that, you know, all this bullshit. And you know, they think the life strategy is just to be a bullshit liar and to cheat and steal, and that's success. And I mean, all this shit. So anyway, time's running out, fortunately. So sorry, I try to keep these whatever they are videos to a minimum.